Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome back to Lakeside, where day 6 of the WDF World Darts Championship is upon us. Last night was unarguably the highlight of the week so far. Jimmy Van Schie eschewed any potential debut nerves by whitewashing Bjorn Leon, averaging 99 in the process. Bo Greaves was too strong for Finland's Kirsi Vinnikainen, despite the latter being 2 darts away from producing history with a 9-darter. The evergreen Paul Lim overcame Kai Fan Leung in a 3-2 thriller before 2022 champion Neil Duff kicked off his campaign against Rhys Colley, showing real bottle in coming from behind. He will play the winner of our first game. It could be an all-Northern Irish tie with Barry Copeland, who's here by virtue of the Last Chance Saloon qualifier in Budapest. Though Aaron Turner will have something to say about that. The local boy can finally call himself a Lakeside winner after beating the USA's Jeff Springer Jr. in round 1. I'm Dan McCarthy. I'll be in the commentary box all day, as I have been all week, and I'm joined by my trusty colleague and WDF nerd, Andrew Sinclair. How you doing, Andrew?
Good, yeah, looking forward to this afternoon. We've got 4 more seeds joining the fray this afternoon, and particularly looking forward to seeing this man here, the daddy, take to the stage for the first time.
First set, first leg, it's Aaron to throw first. Game on.
I was pleased to see Aaron get the win on Sunday against Jeff. Aaron is capable of more than he showed in that game. It was just a 78 average on that occasion, but I thought it was quite a mature performance from him and definitely an uptick on certainly 2023's effort when he lost to Ricky Nauman. So I think it will have done Aaron the world of good to pick up a win, but Barry a very different proposition as a former World Masters finalist and an experienced man who's been there, done it, and pretty much seen everything there is to see in this game.
140.
Yeah, he arrives as a seeded player once again, despite only coming through that last chance qualifier. Played some good darts in Budapest in order to get to this stage.
100.
6-4 win in the final round. And he seems to be in good spirits. He certainly saw the funny side of losing the ball up in the back room by a comparative distance, we'll say.
140.
He was in good spirit when I saw him in the back room as well. Barry made some jokes about the latest one of my festive jumpers and how the slogan on it, while it amused him, might not have been the most appropriate for Barry's home environs back in Northern Ireland.
60. Barry, you require 164.
Strong start from both players. Treble 18.
98. Aaron, you require 76.
Double 8.
60. Barry, you require 66.
Double 18. Happy accident, double 14.
52. Aaron, you require 16.
Chasing it around the board there was Aaron Turner.
The scoring power has been very good from both players, but struggling on the doubles early on. Great throw for Barry.
Barry Copeland.
16 darts, he can be very pleased with that.
Barry to throw first. Game on.
I think Barry will be very keen to avoid a repeat of how he went last year against Johnny Tartar. Not just the result, Barry a 3-2 loser on that occasion, but I think the way that match came about and happened, I think, is something Barry will want to avoid. He was a slow starter in that one, dropped the first 2 sets going into the break, and then you really can't afford any margin for error after that. And yeah, did go all the way to a 5th set, but I think it was ultimately just too much for Barry to claw back in the end. But he's got the early break here, and that treble is a lovely find and puts him in a good position in this second leg.
It's not been a great year for Barry. Hasn't reached a single quarter-final this year. So that's why he's seeding as tumbled. He was the number 8 seed last year.
60.
Yeah, he played a lot less on the WDF circuit this year, Barry. Got married. I can't remember if it was earlier this year or late last year, but yeah, he had a reduced playing schedule this year, Barry, and really put all of his efforts into that World Masters weekend in Budapest, where played some very good stuff. Had match starts in successive legs, actually, to beat Wesley Plazier. They had a rematch of their 2022 World Masters final, and yeah, didn't work out in the end for Barry. Missed those chances, but you know, one of those things.
100. Barry requiring 158. 98. 81. Barry requiring 60.
Much slower leg from Aaron Turner in leg 1. Barry backs up the break with a hold of throw in 18.
Third leg is Aaron to throw first.
Reduced playing schedule for him this year, but he's also dabbled in the Modus Super Series. There's the daddy, who normally wears the claret and blue colours of his beloved West Ham. He's gone for a more sleeker black number today.
Perhaps in response to their disappointing defeat last night against Leicester City, beaten 3-1.
41.
But yeah, if he wins this one, Barry, it will be his compatriot, close friend and international teammate Neil Duff. Which, when I spoke to Neil about that prospect last night, Neil said to me, yeah, me against Barry, worth the price of admission alone for the fireworks on that stage, because you've seen Barry, he's already given some big celebrations for the first 2 legs in this one, and yeah, some hearty roars from Neil last night in that incredibly impressive comeback victory against young Reece Colley.
Was a superb comeback.
121.
Neil winning the last 5 legs on the bounce, showing why he's been a champion on this stage before.
100.
Barry's an incredibly experienced campaigner. I think the first World Masters Barry played in was back in 2010, so he's been playing for a long time. Has always been a very dangerous player, and I remember him at the Irish Open a few years ago as an unseeded player, making a very deep run through the competition.
100.
Remember who he lost the final to?
Oh, I was there, and I can't remember. She's not great.
He's quite famous.
Oh yes, yes. Young Luke Littler, when he became the youngest ever winner on the WDF circuit when he was just 14 years of age. I actually interviewed him that day, which I think might be one of his first recorded interviews. A lot more nervous then than he probably is now.
75. Aaron, you require 40.
These doubles haven't been kind to Aaron.
30.
And he still hasn't found one.
Barry, you require 45.
So a 2-darter for Barry for the opening set.
All too comfortable for Barry Copeland.
Second set, first leg, it's Barry to throw first.
Rock solid so far, averaging 88.41, which means he's averaging 17 darters.
58. 45.
First of 4 games we've got today. Letavia takes on Paula Murphy in the women's competition next up. Before we have our German representative in the men's, Liam Maindel-Lawrence, against another Belgian who's looking to make an impact in Sibren Heibels. Before a USA debutant, Jason Brandon, takes on Hannah Schneer of Austria.
Yep, number of interesting and on paper very close games this afternoon. Particularly looking forward to seeing Jason make his first appearance on this stage. Very capable player. He's the man from Tennessee. Loves his fishing, loves his country music, and loves his darts as well. Played some fantastic stuff at the World Masters in Budapest, and think he could make a real impact at these championships. Looking to be the first American man to win after we saw Kevin Luke drop out, and of course Jeff Springer fell against, and you see on your screen now, Hazza, Aaron Turner, who
28.
had chances in 2 legs of that first set, but firmly under the cosh now. Barry looking to make it 4 legs on the spin.
145.
Terrific setup, and Aaron's definitely lost his range after what was a promising start.
44. Barrier required 36.
Mistake he can afford to make. This has been ropey to say the least from Aaron. Barry opting to go straight at double 9. Down for double 2.
16.
Ended up splitting it there, and well, he's not under any real pressure yet, but double 1 isn't nice for anyone.
123. Barrier required 2.
Some pressure applied now.
In shot in the first leg.
Barry Copeland makes double 1 look easy. Normally you see a tentative first start, one that lacks aggression. That was straight in, it was pinpoint.
I don't think Barry's capable of doing anything tentatively. He's a very fiery and aggressive character, but somewhat a very entertaining person to be around.
28.
Always has good support, and was nice to see him back in the Northern Ireland team this year. Played at the Europe Cup, although admittedly he did get some horrible draws. Of course, the Europe Cup and WDF World Cup unseeded, and yeah, he was Northern Ireland too, and he got drawn against one of the Dutch representatives, and his first game was against Alexander Merckx. So ended up being a cracking game, and Barry lost 4-3. So played very well, but yeah, it was an early exit for the Daddy, but showed signs of that form that he then went on to display in Budapest, and yeah, very well, a great 96 finish to beat David Warszewski in the final round of that qualifier, but will always be etched in my mind because of the celebration, which admittedly I can't recreate on here, not just because of my woeful attempt at the Northern Ireland accent, but also because of the exact specifics of what Barry said, but you know, I'll leave it to the imagination, but it involved his nickname anyway.
81.
And a question about
yes.
who the Daddy may be, yes.
Yes.
It's a better visit from Aaron there, but there is that idiosyncrasy to his throw where he does seem to sort of push forward with the dart, and you see that his rear arm does tend to buck up a little bit, not quite
60.
in the same manner people would have seen Desi Mercer yesterday, but there is that awkwardness to Aaron's throw, and I sometimes feel it means he does lose a little bit of control over his action.
44.
I'm not really sure what the origin of it is. Could just be one of those habits that players pick up.
You see a similar prod from Barry, but then he
100.
Little message for the crowd there, Mr. Copeland.
41. Barry, you require 75.
double top.
35. Aaron, you require 122. 82.
Too many loop starts, too many trebleless visits. It's not a good combination.
In shot in the second leg.
It's worked out well for Barry.
Third leg is Barry to throw first. Game on.
Yeah, or in some way below the standard he displayed against Jeff, and I do wonder whether those missed doubles right at the start of the game have lingered in his mind a little. He had, I think it was 6 chances in that first leg.
I don't think Barry will mind the noise now. Cheering for him, first maximum.
100.
En route to a 6th straight leg and a 2-set lead.
Yeah, he's a very, very, very capable player, Barry. Someone I enjoy watching.
85. Barry, you require 121.
Double 18. Terrific combination shot from Barry Copeland.
Barry Copeland.
Welcome back to Lakeside, where things are going swimmingly for the daddy right now. He's won 6 straight legs, and as a result, he is 2 sets to 0 up, and Aaron Turner has to change something very quickly indeed. Missed 8 darts at a double, but perhaps tellingly, they've only been split over 2 legs. The scoring power has been virtually non-existent from Azza, and Barry will feel very confident that he can get the job done quickly and set up a tie against his compatriot, his mate, and the number 3 seed, Neil Duff. Interestingly, Andrew, Aaron was, during the break, entirely on stage, just throwing darts. I think he probably realises that something needs to drastically change.
Yeah, absolutely. Needs to find that grouping, just needs to pull them all together. There's been far too many treble-less visits, as you alluded to, in that second set. Just needs to improve his grouping and find a little bit more consistent scoring, and even if that means converting 41s into 60s, it at least means that there's a few more points on the board, which means then if you do find a stronger visit, you're in a better position to punish or put Barry under pressure, whereas in that second set, Barry was under no real pressure really. The only leg where he was the one that he ended up finishing on double 1, and that was because he ended up having to chase the doubles a little bit around the board.
60.
An opening gambit of 45 isn't exactly promising.
100. 135.
That's much better.
Well, successive treble-less visits from Barry to open up his first leg after the break. Do you think Aaron here will be looking to try and get himself on the board?
125.
Back-to-back 2 treble visits. Aaron knows he's got the advantage of throw in this third set by winning the bullseye in the back room.
58.
Well, a maximum would bring Barry down to a finish.
Right on cue.
And he will now get a chance at that 161.
Are you require 161?
Won't go, but for how poorly Aaron has played on the outer ring, 76 is no gimme.
76.
No, we'll only get one shot at a double.
56. Are you require 116?
He's looking to drop down there, Barry, and find the treble, but ends up going the other side of the dart already in the bed.
56.
Not sure if he caught wind of a phone ringing there. May have put him off. Aaron Turner finally registers a leg.
Second leg is Murray to throw first.
Yeah, still some loose darts there from Aaron, but he was able to correct. You know, he was finding a treble, and then there was a loose one, and he was able to pull himself back straight. Just there is a slight tendency to push the dart from Aaron, which can be a worry, but this looks more promising.
100.
Aaron was one of the English contingent that made the trip over to Las Vegas at the start of this year for the Gold Las Vegas Open. Actually got all the way to the quarters, Aaron, so had a good run. But ends up with an all-Canadian final, so looking forward to that one being back on the calendar for January. And I'm led to believe Aaron is going again, having spoken to his wife Laura the other day. He's all set, ready to go to Vegas, along with James Beaton, who we saw in action yesterday afternoon.
57.
I think did himself real credit this year, James. Last man into the field, but beat Bradley and gave a really good account of himself yesterday against an experienced campaigner in Thomas Younghans.
Yeah, the 180 hitting was superb from James Beaton.
Are you require 120?
Wrong side of the wire.
52. Aaron, you require 149.
It's a big ask.
95. Are you require 63?
Give me an awkward little finish, 63. dart he had at tops.
And you require 54.
Just in the 14.
Nearly a little tumble there from Aaron as he moved across the hockey.
44. Are you require 20? No score. Are you
Instantly
require
made the
10?
choice to bust. Double 5 landed. Aaron Turner with a break of throw, and suddenly he's got something to cling on to.
It's Aaron to throw first. Game on.
Yeah, that was the first leg where we've seen any real form of frustration from Barry Copeland. Last start to bust at 20, very much thrown in anger.
140.
It does appear that that time on stage has done Aaron some good in this set. Not an enormous improvement in terms of his average, but scoring's been a little bit more consistent, which has given him more chances than he was getting, particularly in that second set.
125.
Not happy with not filling it up, but much more promise from Aaron Turner. He's going to get 6 darts to take out 153.
153. 41.
A slack visit there gives Barry a chance. Needs to be 2 trebles to put real pressure on.
100. Aaron, you require 112.
I think that's a big part of Barry's game. He throws an awful lot of steady tons, just keeps chipping away, keeps putting the pressure on.
42.
That's why
you require 142.
you'll see constantly averages in the mid to high 80s.
Gonna stay there. Went chasing the bullseye. What the percentage shot would have been to stay there to use the
70.
guide that was already in the treble.
14 leaves bull. Oh,
30. You require 40.
did Cardinal sin of missing the big number twice.
In charge of the third leg, Barry Copeland. Fourth leg is Barry to throw first. Game on.
Didn't give himself a chance of a set dart. Would have been a clean sweep and it would have raised the confidence levels.
59.
Too many wild visits from Aaron in this match.
100. 81. 95.
I think the game with Neil will be a very different proposition for either player, particularly with the way Neil played last night.
129.
He's under terrific pressure from Reese and showed the instincts of a champion to dig deep and then take that last set 3-0.
55.
I think in terms of the scoring power, both men will know that they'll need to up their game for that one. But if it is Barry against Neil, that they'll play at each other more times than both can probably care to count. But there will be a very different edge to the game. So it might not be that scoring power is as important. It could well be. It's more about the emotional highs and lows and how they gel and potentially the fireworks they create.
26.
Strange decision though from Barry. I thought the way the first two darts were lying, he might elect to switch.
100.
149 is doable, but his switches onto the 19s haven't been as profitable as he might have liked.
They have now.
133.
Great effort from Barry Copeland.
125.
And he's going to get a chance at double eight.
43. Barry requires 16. In shot and a fourth leg. Barry Copeland. Fifth leg, it's Aaron to
Well,
throw
the scenario
first.
now is very simple. Aaron Turner has to hold his throat or he's out.
Yep. And having led 2-0, now 2-all, still hasn't had a set dart to close it out. So we'll need to make sure this leg he fires more straight and true than he has managed to in the last two. But this is a very good start from Barry if he can follow it in.
140.
Two poor visits to start from Aaron, and this could be the nail in the coffin here from Barry. That's a great first start.
81.
Nice roar there from Barry, geeing himself up. Down to a attractive finish, certainly for the way Barry plays.
60.
After 9, found the treble. First dart in every visit so far this leg. Does it again. Tried to stay there for a shot at double 10 rather than going the tops route we saw Hannah Schneer do the other day.
That could be curtains for Aaron Turner. Barry looks to close it out in 13.
Game shot.